2023 was an excellent year for new roller coasters. The year was highlighted by 2 brand new RMC roller coasters and 2 Intamin multi-launch coasters. But this year had so much more as well. There were some themed indoor coasters that opened, and we also had some prototype coasters open as well. I was fortunate enough to get on most of the prominent coasters that opened in 2023, and in this video, I will rank the best ones that I personally experienced. Last year I made a video on my most anticipated coasters in 2023, ranking them based on excitement. And looking back, I actually did a pretty good job guessing where the coasters I experienced would place. Additionally, if you want more in-depth thoughts about any of these coasters, I already have separate reviews published on the channel for most of them. The only exceptions are number 13 and 14. Starting off the list at number 15 is Luna at Liseberg. This may be the world's best Vekoma family boomerang simply because of the setting. Between the coaster itself and its placement on the hill, you reach nearly hyper heights. You get some sweet views of the city and park down below. The forces are mild, but the ride is glass smooth, and the backwards dynamic adds something you don't typically get on a family coaster. Number 14, Raptor coaster at Reykjavik shows. This is a windstorm coaster, and it's one of my favorite compact coaster layouts out there. There isn't really any airtime, but the tight turns are fun. I particularly love the swooping drop midway through. This is an intensely forceful and snappy moment that makes the ride for me. And despite the ride's appearance, it's not the least bit rough. Number 13, Cliff Carver at Camp Finfo. This is a vegan mountain coaster with 3 lift hills. The first third had some S-bends with some weak lateral kinks. The second third had some sharper laterals around these fast bends. The final third had a mix of both. There's no airtime pops, and there is a lot of auto braking, but the ride is fun. It's probably in the lower half of mountain coasters for me, but it's the only one down in Texas at the moment. Number 12, Dark Coaster at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. This is an Intamin straddle coaster in the castle formerly home to Curse of Dark Castle. The ride is a nice blend of darkness and effects, some physical and some screen-based. The layout does feel a bit repetitive and constrained by the building, but the tire-propelled launches have solid kicks, and you do get to navigate the course twice per cycle. Number 11, Aquaman Power Wave at Six Flags Over Texas. This mock power splash is a very good water ride. The launches have some power, particularly in the third one. The backwards launch can fold you over the restraint. Then this ride also has some nice airtime. The middle hump gives really nice floater airtime after the third launch. Then you get good weightlessness on the spikes, and I particularly like how the backwards one is profiled. You get the usual weightlessness at first, then the hump midway down transitions the airtime in a better floater. Then the ride culminates in a massive final splash, and depending upon where you sit, you can get very wet, particularly if you're on the front or sides of the boat. Number 10, Uncharted at PortAventura. This is an Intamin multi-dimension coaster indoors. The theming leading up to the ride itself is excellent. The rocky facade looks incredible, and it fits right into the Far West area. Then the queue has all sorts of theming, props, a Nathan Drake animatronic, and then a walkthrough section that feels like a haunt. The coaster itself doesn't have a tremendous amount of theming, just one animatronic at the start, plus 3 screens. Much of the ride takes place in near total darkness, but that accentuates the speed, especially because the launches are fairly punchy. This coaster is not too forceful, but it is disorienting as you wind your way through the show building because the vehicles strategically spin a few points. Number 9, Zambezi Singer at Worlds of Fun. This GCI creation pays respect to the Schwarzkopf speed racer that was long removed. This ride features a spiral lift hill at the start, and then a terrain-based layout. The pacing was better than expected. You charge through each element. This ride did not have much in terms of airtime, particularly with how tight the lap bars get, but the turns were the highlight. They had some sharp lateral kinks, particularly in the finale. The ride does have a shimmy and a few turns, but it was still very tolerable for me. Number 8. Big Bear Mountain at Dollywood. This is a great family launch coaster. While the ride did not have the airtime that I anticipated, the layout was long and windy. The second and third launch have a kick to them. The few turns and valleys had some light positive Gs. But the best parts were the terrain usage, onboard audio, and the brisk pacing. All these gave the coaster a nice sense of speed. The hillside's a bit bare at the moment, but I imagine that'll be improved in the future as trees and landscaping grow in. Number 7. Tron Light Cycle Run at Magic Kingdom. This is a visually stunning coaster. The dome has beautiful LED lights at night. Then the indoor portion is you zipping through some illuminated energy gates, and later past a double-sided screen. Then the coaster has a great sense of speed as well. The launch is a surprise kick halfway down. Then the main sequence is a series of swooping turns in a darkened environment. The ride is not super forceful, and the mid-courses do trim, but the motorbike seating keeps the excitement up. And this ride is an incredible on-ride soundtrack from Daft Punk that gets your juices flowing. Number 6. Storm the Dragon Legend at Tussenfried. This is a prototype inverted infinity coaster from Gerstlauer. The coaster starts off with an interesting swing launch sequence. The initial launch is comically weak, but the second and third ones have solid kicks to them. And the stall on the reverse sidewinder fully inverts the back 2 rows, offering one of the best hang time moments in the world back there. The main layout consists of 3 dive loops and a speed hill. While the layout is a tad repetitive, the dive loops feel pretty different. The later 2 have good positive Gs. Then the first one stands out for its airtime. But the best airtime moment is easily that bunny hill. It is taken super fast, and it offers strong ejector airtime. The biggest con with this coaster is the tracking. It is probably the roughest coaster on this list. While the lap bar restraint is thankfully comfortable and freeing, the train simply had a nasty vibration in the valleys. Number 5. Pipeline at SeaWorld Orlando. The prototype B&M Surf coaster is a next-generation stand-up coaster, but you don't spend as much time standing as you may suspect. Rather, you spend a lot of time flying. This ride has some shocking airtime. The hills send you airborne, especially because the seats bounce with you to amplify those negative Gs. It's all floater, but it is surprisingly sustained. It is such a unique sensation. Then the turns and valleys offer solid positive Gs to contrast. The one element that was a bit of a letdown for me was the corkscrew. It was fine, it just didn't do as much as I expected. The vest restraint can get a bit tight, but the ride is much more tolerable than the older stand-up coasters. Number 4. Wildcat's Revenge at Hershey Park. This RMC hybrid conversion of the former Wildcat is a major improvement. This coaster has fantastic pacing. It powers through the layout with no dead spots. This didn't have as many traditional bunny hills like other RMCs, but it still had plenty of elements that chucked you from your seat. The first drop and Camelback have great sustained ejector airtime. Then there are a lot of off-axis and sideways hills that offer strong airtime while horizontal. But this coaster does so much more than just airtime. The Double Down offers shocking laterals. Then the 4 inversions all offer superb hang time, particularly that 0G stall. Number 3. Toutatis at Park Asterix. This Intamin multi-launch coaster feels like Pantheon at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, just with better theming and a wilder second half. The main comparison point is the exciting swing launch sequence. The launches have nice kicks to them. The rollback and spike have nice weightlessness. Then the passes over the bunny hill offer strong ejector airtime. Then you have a top hat. This element was a bit of a buzzkill due to a trim break, but it still has some airtime. And the following elements all deliver. There were all sorts of negative Gs, sustained ejector, sharp pops, and then sideways airtime. And there are 3 awesome inversions, all of which chuck you from your seat. And because of this ride's wooded setting, it is a fantastic night ride. Number 2. Batman Gotham City Escape at Parque Warner Madrid. This Intamin multi-launch coaster is incredible. I knew it would be excellent, but it was even better than I expected. Let's start with the theming. The pre-boarding experience has a pre-show and some themed rooms. Then the coaster's 2 brief dark ride scenes, plus some characters peppered throughout the layout, and even onboard audio. Then the layout itself is world class. It is well paced and has a lot of diversity. There are several strong airtime moments, most notably the top hat that offers 2 distinct and powerful ejector moments. Then the following bunny hill tries to chuck you into the ionosphere. Then the 4 inversions are spectacular as well. The first corkscrew has wonderful hang time. The second corkscrew is ferocious snap. The dive loop gives an inverted airtime moment. Then the stall may be my favorite inversion in the world. You are suspended upside down for what feels like an eternity, and the X is a swooping drop that perfectly switches over to airtime. I just hope this ride can become more reliable, because that was easily this ride's biggest Achilles heel. And coming in number 1 is ArieForce 1 at Fun Spot Atlanta. This is an ejector airtime machine, and I love it. The first half has some very sustained moments. You have a fantastic and steep first drop, a wicked outward banked hill, and immediately afterwards, a large double up. The second half has some of the most aggressive ejector airtime pops in the planet, particularly on the quad down. That section is relentless. Then the coaster also throws in 4 epic inversions. The Raven Trust Dive has crazy near misses. The large stall has oodles of hang time. Then the 2 barrel rolls later in the ride offer insane laterals. Every single element on this coaster delivers, and I thoroughly enjoyed marathoning this coaster. So those are the 15 best new for 2023 roller coasters that I personally experienced this past year. What was your favorite of the 2023 coasters? Let me know down in the comments. If there was a ride missing, it's likely because I didn't get to experience it. The big ones I missed were all the new roller coasters that opened in Asia, the best of which appeared to be Manta at SeaWorld Abu Dhabi. If you enjoyed this countdown, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.